Please be ready for dictation of transcription number 232 from Sir Kailash Chandra magazine. 5 seconds to go. Mr. Vice Chairman, Sir, thank you very much for having given me this opportunity even on the first day to speak on this child labor bill. Sir, I support the bill. The bill seeks to give more benefits to the child labor which is being employed in our country. Sir, I would like to submit that in our country, even 100 years ago, when Britishers were ruling us in 1881, when Lord Ripon was ruling our country, a bill was introduced in that children below the age of 7 years were not allowed to work. But in 1934, there was an amendment brought. The hours of work were considered as 5 hours for the child labor. They brought several other legislations, the Factories Act, the Plantation Labor Act, and so many other acts for the purpose of protecting the interests of the child labor. Sir, there are about 16 million child labor in our country. Of them, 10 million are employed in the urban sector and 6 million in the rural sector. Even in that, the agriculture sector alone is absorbing more than 78% of the child labor in our country. If we see the commerce and industry sector, the child labor employed there is more compared to what it was 10 years back, in spite of the welfare measures taken by the government. In spite of our saying that the child labor should be minimized, we find there is a spurt in their employment. The child labor could not be contained because of the socio-economic conditions. I would like to submit the very salient points which have been given in the bill itself by the Honorable Minister. When the Honorable Minister became the Labour Minister here, he went to the state of Tamil Nadu, especially to Sivakasi, and saw that more than 50,000 children are being employed with wretched conditions. There were no safety measures for them. Health hazards were there, and the children were not given vocational training. Proper attention was also not given to them. This bill seeks to prohibit the child labor in particular hazardous industries and regulates the employment of children in other industries. A schedule has been given for the purpose of giving employment to the children with lighter conditions. The children who are employed in such conditions should be given protection. I would like to submit further that the children who are being employed are coming for work because of abject poverty. We cannot all of a sudden eliminate the child labor for the simple reason that about 40% of the total population is living below the poverty line. Therefore, the children who are coming from the rural areas and also from the urban sector are actually helping the family, though they do not go in for education. In such a condition, I would like to tell the Honorable Minister that in the organized sector, this legislation will work well, but if you go to the unorganized sector, like the construction industry and also the agriculture sector, this will not work. I would like to suggest the Honorable Minister that he should see that this act is to be enforced with full strength because the child labor is exploited by the employers for the simple reason that they can be paid low wages and made to work for 14 to 16 hours or according to their whims and fancies. Now they have to give minimum wages as is required under the Act. Then I would like to stress upon the point that the children's health is not given due consideration. If we go to the restaurants, tea stalls, or factories, we see their wretched conditions. In other areas, we find that the children are not given the benefit which an employee is being given. That being so, bringing in this legislation would help improve the working conditions of the children who are helping their families by working in factories, plantations, and in agriculture. Sir, the bill gives ample opportunity to the children who are employed in the agriculture sector, especially for the purpose of getting more wages, because wages as defined under the Minimum Wages Act will apply in this case also. On the whole, we find this bill as a social legislation which actually gives benefit to the children who have been exploited by the employers in various fields. The last point I would like to make is with regard to safety measures and health conditions. The Honorable Minister has given these items under the general category as has been given in the Factories Act and said that the same measures would apply here also. But I would like to suggest that the Child Labor Bill 1986 should have a separate clause dealing with safety measures and health conditions which can be enforced effectively by the authorities concerned. I hope our Honorable Minister would consider this proposal for effective implementation of this bill. Stop.